Yeah, please.
Thank
It always
you,
takes up
Larry.
so much time with them kissing you when they
I
come
know,
in.
it's great. It's great all together. Now, Paddy.
Yeah. All-Ireland winner, All-Ireland winner,
Yeah.
comedian.
Do you wanna-
Like, I
Did
know
you play football?
I played a small bit of Gaelic football, and I won an All-Ireland minor medal in '87.
So you're a minor comedian.
I am a minor. That's not the first time that's been said. However, whenever we won the minor All-Ireland
against Cork,
we actually beat Kildare in the semi. We beat Cork in the final.
Did you?
James McCartan starred that day, and Paddy Keelty didn't kick a ball. So I think that's not a bad omen.
That's an excellent one.
You were actually underage for minor again the following year, weren't you, Paddy?
I was a sub in '87. I played in '88. I played in '89. We won in '87. We lost in '88. We lost in '89. You do the math.
You were only under 16 the first year, were you?
I was.
And Conor, he actually made a bit of a name for himself at the lunch for the teams the following day.
he did. The four teams would have met in the Burlington, as was tradition at that stage, and I suppose we all knew what was coming to a degree, and up he stepped after all the senior boys had got up and they'd done their singing and their poems or whatever, jokes. They were all rubbish, by the way. And your man stands up and he gave a skit of Micheál Murhertic, and it was outstanding. It brought the place down, and for a 16-year-old to stand up and do that in front of everybody, you know, it was great. And obviously it started you.
That was my first.
Was it? First
yeah, that was my first appearance.
I don't know, was that a good thing or a bad thing? Larry, while the lads were together on the same team, you then also played in the senior final that year.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I was talking to Paddy there earlier, and
It was you win a match at that stage. We started building a little bit of momentum, and you know, you beat Armagh, which is always a very enjoyable thing to do, to be honest. You know, and
Now, come on, now you can't. You know, to be fair, Armagh had a great one-in-a-row team.
I was a comedian, all right. That's right.
I mean, you're in the UK a good bit, and does All-Ireland final weekend still mean an awful lot to you?
Oh, like I live in the King's Road, and you know, as a Man United supporter, you know, living beside Chelsea, that you have to keep your head down. And I've been doing the radio show on Radio 2 over there for the last couple of weeks, and I actually had Sharon Corr on the show today, and she actually sang the Star of the County Down.
Did she?
And and for me, just the moment for me tomorrow, and I, you know, I don't care what happens in the game, but as someone, my dad was the chairman of our club, and winning our All-Ireland, and whenever the 60 team are brought out,
Absolutely.
you know, whether we win, lose or draw tomorrow, that is just, it's going to be an unbelievable moment.
It is actually, yeah. It's at times people don't realise just what that team were about. I mean, what they won in that sort of from '59 right through to '71 was, I think, that 8 Ulsters, 3 National Leagues, 3 All-Irelands. I mean, it was incredible stuff.
So even though it was before your time, you were brought up in all their names. We're going to be chatting with some of the lads later.
We were reared on it.
That's all you heard. My dad, that's all you could hear. Jesus.
Yeah,
60s,
there's a story actually that James McCartan's, James who's managing the team, his grandfather there was an Armagh man, and he was talking about the Armagh team in Newry there a few years ago, and he was going on about how good Armagh was. And the Down man just put his pint down and he says, "For Jesus' sake," he says, "Down have won that many All-Ireland." He says, "Bryony McCartan used to feed the pigs out of it." And that's
Ye played, of course, with young James, who is manager now. What kind of guy was he to play with? Okay.
Small. Look, James, I said it before, James is James. He's just, you know, he's a bundle of energy in everything that he did. He'll bring great enthusiasm, a lot of confidence.
Do you know, I can interrupt you here, Conor. The reason she's asking, she told me earlier, she had a crush on James.
He was an exciting player to watch.
You obviously like small men, I suppose. You know?
That's you out. That's you out.
get your number then.
Well, we know where it'll be tomorrow. Paddy, the semi-final against Kildare and that last couple... Well, we know where it'll be tomorrow. Paddy, the semi-final against Kildare and that last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
It was incredibly dramatic.
Oh.
How did you... Were you sure they were going to hang on? Because...
No, I wasn't sure that they were going to hang on at all. It was obviously... I don't know whether to feel sympathy for you for the semi-final or the final tomorrow. It'd be a terrible thing to beat you twice, Larry. But no, it was just that thing of it had been the last time I'd been to Croke Park, and actually watching something was a rugby match, and it was whenever England played Ireland. And I was actually with Jackie Fullerton from BBC Northern Ireland, and there was the whole talk about whether they should actually play God Save the Queen. And Jackie Fullerton turned around to me, and this was just before the game, and he said, "There's been a lot of talk about whether they should play the Queen at this game. I don't know. I don't think they should start her, but if England are winning with 10 minutes to go, bring her on." And so to be there, you know, like it was a total eclipse for me to actually see a Down team in an All-Ireland semi-final this year, and just I think I was worse in the semi-final than I was actually watching you boys.
I had never been to one. I mean, obviously the last time we were in it, I played in it, and it's the worst experience of my life. And at a football match, to stand, I was just above the goals where all the action was taking place. And I couldn't watch the last kick. I couldn't watch it.
But that last, remember, Gráinne, that last kick, because Larry, you were a free taker. It was an incredible free at the end, and you went in, wasn't it?
Listen,
he took it from the wrong place. That's the first thing I'd say.
Oh, get ahead.
we won't talk about the other goals. It should have been.
Teams that I've seen, you know, the second forwards, they were amazing.
Well, let's focus on Down for a minute, because 5 finals, as you know, and the 5 wins. So can it be a 6th for them? Well, lots of...
But where are Cork going to do it tomorrow? I'm presuming now that you think Cork actually will do it tomorrow, not like this lad over here.
Well, I'd be very confident Cork would do it. I think that they have a lot of experience. I think it's something nowadays, I think that...
well, look, you know, after what Larry said, I think, you know, I'm the only one here that's actually won Celebrity Bannister. So, you know, obviously Marty won Celebrity Bannister, Marty Whelan, and then when it went to the international series, you know, so as a manager who's been there and done that, lads.
Yeah.
The World Cup of Celebrity Bannister.
I would say that turn the papers on their head, because the papers are predicting that if you listen to the papers, Cork miners have as much chance as the Chilean miners, and it's true, and Down have 2 hopes, no hope and Bob Hope, and I would say Cork for the miners, Down for the seniors.
All right.
I'll go with that, yeah, happy with that.
All right, guys, well, as usual, there's people agreeing and not agreeing out.
2 goals in front.
Well, I scored a goal and 5 points, but I should have scored more now.
Down have done it. Never before in over 7 decades of GAA history was a victory so widely acclaimed. Kevin Musson has become the first man from across the border to receive the Sam Maguire Cup.
And I'm with 3 of the heroes of that team. Paddy Doherty, who you met earlier, Kevin O'Neill and Joe Lennon are here. Paddy, what did you mean in the report there that you should have scored more than 1-5?
Well, Patsy O'Hagan put McLean through with an open goal, and I soloed into the 14-yard line and fired. And she hit the upright at the bottom and went out over the sideline on the 21-yard line. Michael O'Hare says that'll go down as one of the thrilling misses of 1960.
But so sorry, just let me clarify that. So 14-yard line, you drilled it. It was so hard off the bottom of the post, it went out over the sideline.
And right over the 21-yard line.
It's funny what memory does to you. Do you want to see it again? Let's have a look at it.
I didn't say what I wanted to see. Or
Hang on. Did the rest of you want to see it? Hang on. Look. See it there. It did go away, but in fairness, you were 6 yards out. Gráinne would have scored it.
But Gráinne wasn't playing.
Well, that's true. Kevin. Kevin, I'd say he was a quiet fella in the dressing room, was he?
No, Daz, he wasn't. I think you know what Paddy's like listening to him now. You know, Paddy was always full of good humour and fun in the dressing room.
That win, though, explain, it meant so much more, not just in Down, but to all the counties north of the border.
Yes, there's no doubt. I think it did at that particular time. Everybody seemed to get behind the team, and lots of people would say that it did play its part in you know, helping community relations in the north. Yeah.
And Joe Lennon, for you, I mean, you were privileged as a great player to win 3 and to captain Down in '68. But the significance of 60, how does that compare for you personally to captaining in '68?
Well, obviously it was the first, and the first is always very, very special. Now, '68, I regard myself as maybe a bit lucky to be captain, and luckier still to win the All-Ireland and collect the cup. But you know, in the end of the day, I suppose I'd have to go down on the side of 1968 because I was captain, and because my family are all there with me, especially after the match. I remember my father sitting in the hotel, and boy, was he a proud man.
Why wouldn't he be?
Yes.
Yeah. The celebrations back then in Dublin after you had won for the first time, Paddy?
Well, it was great because we went down O'Connell Street, and there was old men standing, they were blessing themselves. They thought Sam was going for good.
Yeah. Now, you were captain in 1961, and the crowd, some of you might know, that was the biggest crowd ever at a final. What was it, 91,000?
91,200, and about 20,000 broke in. That particular day, we had a parade around the pitch to get into the dressing room because the gates were broke down, and there wasn't 20 Down players running around the field. There was 200 went round. People were taking our bags and carrying them, and we were marching on empty-handed.
And did they get in carrying your bags?
They got in. They managed it. So don't be trying that tomorrow, because you'll not get in.
Well, it's going to be great tomorrow, actually, isn't it? Going out on the field. Would you enjoy that experience now, being introduced?
It's great, I suppose, to have survived and to be still here, you know.
Indeed. And you're looking well on it, may I say. You're all looking well on it.
Thank
and
you.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah.
What was it Brendan Boyer said about you?
Well, he said if I wasn't the greatest footballer in Ireland, he would do the huck and buckle tap of the whole stand. But also in the Kitty O'Hare paper, it said, spare a thought for the other few. That meant the other few footballers.
And did he do the huckle buck on the Hogan stand?
Well, thank God he had no call to do it, because...
You beat me to it. Really do. Well, that's kind of a cue for us now, because we've more music. Watching the match with tomorrow, or do you know? I mean, who are you going along with?
I'm watching the match with.
Ferguson.
Well, you can't even get a word in. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Will you be here tomorrow?
What?
Will you be at the match tomorrow?
Of course I will. Yeah. Of course I will.
So his jibe at you about watching Man United isn't accurate?
Oh, no. To be honest with you, you know, obviously you haven't played at Old Trafford. You know, I know what he's thinking. It's the great quiz question. You know, which All-Ireland medalist has replaced Peter Schmeichel at Old Trafford? And you know, whenever you've saved from Alan Shearer, you generally find that an All-Ireland final gives you a bit of confidence, you know.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. All right. Well, come here, Billy. I spoke earlier about your passion. Matt McGinn from Hilltown in County Down with his own composition, My Will.
Best of luck, agus ichawagi.
Song.
Let's hear more from the County Down camp. In the dark and dark moment where jealousy website is many thorns, will you then live for that moment, or will you see emotion all that you were scorned? But I'll open my eyes and look fixed upon an object lying still, and it makes me love a hazy tide and picture of a stream of children screaming my defense. It's that same old scenario, 2 cars and a white picket fence. But I'll open my eyes and see from the dream to reality until, well, I'll see you and love you even more, and that's my will. That's my will. Oh, that's my will. That's my will. That's my will. Release the shadows, disguise them like sawdust on the butcher's floor, and realize what you have before it falls like lightning out the fire door. Because you're gonna have to feel your way till you finally get your fill.